Good evening and welcome to Stupid O'Clock View. I'm Lewis Lee and I stand every time that national anthem is played. Dateline, Atlanta, Georgia. Major League Baseball is in damage control mode today after an incident at Truist Park that involved a cardboard fan. The fan, whose identity has been withheld, was hit by a foul ball off the bat of pitcher Touki Toussaint in the fourth inning of the game played last week. Stadium officials rushed the fan to a nearby Emory University Medical Center where the director of emergency services said there was nothing his staff could do for the fan because he's made of cardboard. Stadium staffers then took the cutout fan to a local sign shop where he was treated and released, now sporting duct tape around his head. The twist of the story comes days later when 3 employees of the sign shop tested positive for COVID-19. They believe they were infected by the cardboard fan and have threatened to sue the Atlanta Braves and Major League Baseball for damages, including lost wages and pain and suffering. Major League Baseball, for its part, says the fans were all tested prior to the start of the season and were all cleared by medical staff. It must have been some dirty sign from a head shop that infected the digital artists. That's the news. Back to you. Really? That's all I get?
Yeah. Oh, that didn't deserve a good night, everybody.
And why am I in the number one position?
I don't know.
Because you're number one.
There we go.
Now I'm number 2.
Yeah. As should be.
Well, that's what Joe just did. So.
No, that was number 1.
That was number 1. Yeah, he's been. Joe's not been feeling well, so he's been drinking lots and lots of liquid.
Yes.
Of course, the inverse of drinking lots and lots of liquid is.
Everybody told me to drink cranberry juice, which I cannot stand. So.
Well, that's not the issue. It was.
Oh, it's not the kidney stone.
It's not the kid that came through with flying colors.
Oh.
You got to see his bathroom.
Mostly red, I assume.
There is nothing like that little plink onto porcelain.
The only one that I've had to pass was 7 millimeters.
I drink too much beer and eat too many pickles to have kidney stones, fortunately.
I hope I fall in that category myself, John.
Hey, a lot to be said for making your own pickles. Okay.
Hey, I will tell you right now, I would rather take a shot from an NFL place kicker than to have to pass another one of them things.
Yeah.
This coming from a guy who makes his own apple cider.
Yes. So what's been going on this past few days, guys?
Well, let's see. I put in a new router. Got me a Wi-Fi 6 compliant router because it just, the old one wasn't handling the traffic. And you really don't realize how many things in the house you've got hooked up to the Wi-Fi until you have to change the network and password for every freaking one of them.
And add the password and log it in. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought about keeping the same network name and same password, but something in the back of my head said, no, that's
Time to
going to
change
cause
it.
a problem.
Especially if you're getting rid of the old router.
Yeah, but I got one that's made by Asus. It's Wi-Fi 6 compliant. It had some pretty impressive specs, and it was only $139.
all
And
right,
most
what,
Wi-Fi 6 routers are running 250 and more. So,
what's Wi-Fi 6?
Wi-Fi 6 is 802.11an through AX.
Oh, okay.
Just
And one that I was running was 802.11n, which was like
Yeah.
5-year-old.
the
6-year-old.
original 801, of course, was an A. Then you had a B and a C, and the big one for a long time was a G. Everybody was buying G's.
Yeah,
And
G
they
and then
switched to
N replaced that.
And then
Mhm.
when cable stuff, the high speed, like the EPB and stuff, came
Mhm.
out, the half a gig or better,
Mhm.
they came out with the ANX or something like that.
It was
Basically,
AC
how
was
much-
the big one, and now AX is.
It's how much bandwidth the actual router can put out and how many devices it can handle.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I'm running the Netgear Nighthawk, and I think it's almost time for an upgrade.
is that the one that came with your EPB or?
No, I've never used their system.
I thought you had EPB internet.
I mean, I've never used.
Do, but they don't supply a router.
No,
Oh,
you
You you basically have an Ethernet cable in the house, and then you plug that into a router, and
Right.
but it I mean, now I'm running 3 telephones, I know, Alexa, and 3 sorry,
I'm not sure.
let me mute mine.
I've got 3 Googles, and then I got 4 Fire Sticks.
A friend of mine didn't like that Alexa pod thing.
Yeah.
That was, and you know him, John. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't have permission. But he bought, or somebody for Christmas, I'm not sure if he bought it or somebody ordered it for him, bought him the leg lamp
Yeah.
from A Christmas Story. Okay. He has put his Alexa in the leg lamp.
And he calls it Alexa.
Alexa.
And it responds.
Oh. Some the old jokes are the breast jokes. Yes.
Hey, we're geeks. This is the sort of stuff we do.
That would have been. He could make a killing on those.
Some of the steampunk folks I know could dress it up as something. Put it in leather, maybe with some spurs and
What are
gears.
you
and
doing,
whatnot on it.
Alexa? Okay.
Oh,
I don't have one. I don't even use the ones that's built into the iPad or the computer or laptop.
I hope they got enough of Majel Barrett's voice before she passed to do an Alexa. That's all. That's just.
oh, there has got to be.
They actually sat her down for a few weeks and had her just read off lines of stuff.
Yep.
For Star Trek, so that she can do the computer in perpetuity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they did enough stuff to do an Alexa, but I'm pretty sure somebody's going to come up with a voice synthesizer one day that'll allow them to do it. 'Cause
Oh,
I'm
I
pretty
wouldn't
sure
mind.
that's all Alexa. I'm pretty sure that's all Alexa is.
I wouldn't mind having that for my GPS for the car.
Now,
No, you need Samuel L. Jackson.
when I saw the first Luxana Troy episode,
Almost got me, boy.
I don't know that.
Alexa, mute. Okay. Luxana Troy. When
Who
she
is my favorite Star Trek character, by
Yeah.
the way.
when she got to talking to the computer.
Hello, computer. Oh, it's
Yeah, Chris, I missed that. Chris said so somebody had the major reward and added an Alexa to it. Yeah, I loved when she would talk to the computer back and forth, and you realize
she's talking to herself.
Inside joke to a lot of us, but
Yeah.
some people never knew.
Because there's that one where she's trying to find Captain Picard. She's standing in the hallway and she walks over. Oh, computer, and it says, or it said something back to her, and she goes, "Oh, hello, computer." Just like.
I would have imagined she would have been an interesting interview.
oh yeah, she was.
We will have a skunk in the room in 5 minutes.
Yeah, skunks running late. All right.
No, he's not late. He arrives exactly when he means to.
A
Yeah.
wizard is never late. He arrives exactly when he intends to.
Oh, so
Well,
I
I went
I
off and got a haircut yesterday.
Yeah, I was wondering.
So,
So,
it's not hanging down to the middle of my back anymore.
So your earphones
mostly-
are cold now.
No, they're not.
now we're
The
always
house-
talking
The house
about,
is like 98 degrees inside.
now we're always talking about our favorite Star Trek characters.
Mm-hmm.
Who's one? Who is your Jar Jar Binks of Star Trek?
Oh, that would have to be the original Ferengi trio from the first next gen episode they were in.
Yeah, but that wasn't their fault though.
Well, I know.
No, they were trying to
They
create.
didn't know how to write them at the time. The
I just
civilization and the characters evolved.
Just yesterday, I saw an interview with Armin Shimmerman, who was on Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, and he said that he was one of those original three.
Exactly.
Yes, he was.
I did not realize that.
And they wrote, of course, they wrote it better for Deep Space Nine. But
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, they were complete buffoons in the first appearance.
and silly weapons.
Hey, you know, you
Yeah.
gotta make these guys good at something, so they made them capitalists.
Oh, he was with one of the nighttime soap opera things. It was a comedy. I can't remember the name of it.
Benson.
Yes,
Oh,
and Renee was in that too, wasn't he?
Yes.
yeah, Renee Bergenwall.
And Neelix.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I do remember. Yes.
He was Benson's press guy.
So Benson was a holodeck program.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Cheers.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You know, you said who is your most hated character. I don't know that I've actually got a hated character in Star Trek, but there are a few characters that I wish they had done more with. Morn being one of them.
Yeah,
Morn.
from
Which
DS9.
Morn. It's a joke in Quark's bar on DS9. He's the guy. He's the big guy that's always sitting at the bar. His name is basically Norm spelled backwards. So he is basically Norm from Cheers,
Hmm.
Oh, okay. That was
and he's always there,
Ron?
And-
Like moron?
something like that. But Morn, no, just Morn. But he does not have an entire line in the entire series. He never says anything. Even when he laughs, you don't hear anything.
And it would be
And,
nice if they had the actor from Cheers inside the makeup.
And there was a joke about that, about who was actually inside the suit. And me personally, I thought it was John Delancey, and that Morn was actually one of the Q. But
Well, he was able to ingest liquid. What was it? It was a very valuable liquid, and then he stored it in his stomach. And you remember that episode where he faked his death? Yeah,
he was smuggling,
yeah.
I guess was the best way to put it. So.
I hate to say it, but I may have seen 4 episodes of DS9.
Oh,
You are
that's
missing out.
Far more than
that is actually, even though their ship doesn't go anywhere, which is why they brought in the Defiant, was so that they'd actually have a ship that can go somewhere.
Yeah.
It's very well written stories.
Oh, I enjoy it.
My problem was when they started with the Dominion War. It was like, oh, really? Come on. Gene Roddenberry was all about a positive, hopeful future, and everybody that touches the Star Trek series wants to start a freaking war.
Yeah, like Voyager in the Year of Hell and everything else. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Gene Roddenberry wanted a positive, fresh look, and everybody that came after him just screwed it all up.
So you don't want Star Trek SVU?
Too bad, because somebody's going to make it now.
I know. Sorry about that, internet.
Say they're going to return to Roddenberry's original hopeful vision.
Oh, the Pike series?
Yeah.
Eventually, they're going to get over. Eventually, they're going to. The Federation will have to adopt all the Borg technology. That's what's causing all the problems right now, is all Borg technology. And once they get a handle on it, and it's become the new standard for technology or whatever, because the Borg had technology from hundreds of races.
No,
Once they get a handle on that,
thousands.
then they'll start doing the Federation job again.
Yeah.
Hey,
I found a new streaming service. Well, it's not really a new streaming service, but it's got some great channels on it. It's called Stirr, STIRR. It has a sci-fi section of Comet TV, the YouTube channel Dust is on there. There is a Space 1999 channel.
The whole channel?
Yeah. And
Barry Anderson.
Martin Landau lives again.
but it's called Stirr. You can get it on your Fire Stick, Android, Apples. It's all on there. It's run by WTVC. They're the local sponsor for it, and it's all free.
So it's all free. Oh, you got the good stuff tonight, huh, Skunk?
I wasn't doing that. My hands were way down here.
I think he's
I
in
was doing that. If I do something evil, I admit to it.
Hey,
You
you
tried.
tried.
I couldn't hold it.
Hey, Skunk, check this out. Look what I got.
Huh? What?
Look at this shirt.
Ooh.
It's Exorcist.
Yeah, good old Japanese exorcist shirt. $5. Yes.
not to Buku.
But yeah, check out Stirr. because
Vedic
it's-
Win. Okay, Chris, Vedic Win was annoying, but
Oh yeah.
look at Donald Trump. Did I say that out loud?
You're going to get us kicked
Here's
off
my
of YouTube.
notification. No,
No,
you're not.
no,
They
you're
delete
not.
the channel.
There's going to be an executive order chastising John.
We might get kicked off of Facebook.
You know,
An executive order to ban StreamYard.
I have an Article 15 when I was in the military that I put in a frame on my wall just to piss off the CO.
You bad boy.
Which is
It was for stupid reason. Yes. And
I
framed
think
it.
what Joe's asking is what's an Article 15?
Yes.
Article 15 is disciplinary action.
Yeah, but it's just short of a court martial.
It's
Well,
a little bit.
not
It's a
quite
little
like
bit
that.
different from a
Well,
Section
in the
8.
Navy, they call it a captain's mess.
No, it's actually Article 15's disappear in 90 days if you don't do anything else.
That's a better probationary period than any of the situations I've ever been involved in.
If you don't do anything else. If you do something else, they.
When I was working,
What's the term where they put everything together?
permanent record.
No. You get one, then you get another, then you get another one, and they put them all together. And they say,
well, I mean, that's what he means, but there's
Yeah.
a technical term. I know what he's talking about. I don't know where it is.
Yeah,
Co-
like a staircase. or whatever.
cumulative. That's the word. I'm looking for.
Cumulative. Yeah. I'm not going to say the name of the company I was working for with this policy because I believe that might violate a law. So, but I was working for a particular company where
Are they still paying you?
no,
Then that's not violating the law.
I'm still not going to say who it is, just to be kind, because they're not a bad place. But they did have a ruling that was like, if let's say that you're late, right, then that counts as a point.
Right.
And then if you are you accumulate so many lates, then that counts as an absence. And then if you get so many absences, then that counts as a no-show and you're fired, right? That's how the whole process works. So you could be late a time. Now, the no-shows, now you had to get so many, every time you got a no-show, every time you got enough lates to count as an absence and enough absences to count as a no-show, you would get written up. And if you had enough no-shows, you were done, right? One time being late went away after 6 months.
Dang.
So you had that 6 month period. If you were late one time in that 6 month period, you had to really start watching yourself. Because if you were late again and again and again, then it would start to add up and you'd have an absence on your, and then the absence, that's a whole new part of the cycle. So then it's 6 months to get rid of that. And then it piles on.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I've only seen, because of that policy, I've only seen one person get fired for being late, but they were late every day for like 2 months. And then it calculated up so many that they started getting written up. But once you get to the absence part, once you're so many late so many times that you start, now it's an absence. Now every time you're late, it's an absence. And then after that, every time you're late, it's so it builds. It snowballs, like he was saying. What's up, Joe?
Sounds like a topic.
Just wow.
I know.
Possibly.
What do you mean?
You said you weren't going to say who it is, but I said that sounds like a topic.
Topic
that we
of
could discuss.
Oh, no.
No. I better buy something different.
Hey, Chris. I'm sorry. If you're done, if you're
Joe,
done,
you stop playing these games with me.
Hey, it's the best he can do, though.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
Yeah.
In video, what are your strong suits?
In video,
Yeah.
Um,
If you were looking for a gig, what would be your best thing to do?
I'm all right at handling a camera, but it's mostly editing. That's mostly my thing.
Okay.
I was always good at a camera.
Yeah. I at least understand like the rule of thirds, which most people that we have at the wrestling shows don't understand rule of thirds. So I'm like, I just tell them, I'm like, look, just whatever is in the center is what people are going to be looking at. Just point the camera there, and then they end up pointing the camera at a wall or something, which drives me nuts. But
And remember, looks fake.
Look, I got a picture of him.
like I try to explain to people, like, we're going to have something down in the lower third during this part, so make sure to shoot them so that the lower third isn't going to cover anything up. And then I go to put the thing in post. I forget the word for that shows up in the lower third. The nameplate. Put the nameplate up and it's covering up their face. I'm like, why did you shoot it from here up? Like it's
For those
so
of
weird.
you who don't know what the rule of thirds is for photography, you basically take your picture, put a tic-tac-toe board on it,
Mhm.
and it gives you 4 crosshairs
Mhm.
to aim with. I'm going to use my picture. You would have one up here. You would have one over here. You would have one down here
There, yeah.
and one over here. And like right now, I'm centered. That's how most people take pictures. Professional photography will have pictures like this, usually with something in the picture with the person,
Mhm.
like the background. Okay. Like right now, my face is centered in that upper rule of third.
Now I'm down lower, and it won't work here because of the nameplate.
But yeah, you get the
But
idea.
yeah, that nameplate is
My biggest rule when I would tell my photographers is 2 fingers head space and nose in the center. which means that if you were shooting at an angle, you wanted to make sure that the nose was in the center so that you created some look space, and you wanted 2 fingers of room above the head to make sure you weren't cutting them off, because back
There's
in
nothing worse than a
day,
picture like this. You know, it's-
photographers, you had a lot of loss in the editing process. So we had the essential area, which was about 85% of what you could see in the viewfinder of the camera. And they even had little white lines in the camera viewfinder to help you visualize.
a lot of digital cameras nowadays will actually have a rule of thirds crosshair, or I'm not sure what they call it, that you can superimpose over the picture, and it gives you an idea where to aim.
Yeah.
There you go.
My phone, I have my phone automatically set to rule of thirds to help me aim.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about that. This is what I was doing. This is literally what I was doing tonight at the wrestling show, because we tried a new thing with my buddy, y'all know him, Joe Blair. Joe, when he's in a big arena, fantastic at running the camera at a wrestling show. But when he's in a small arena like ours, he's way too he's just way too close to the ring. Just way too close to the ring. And I get it. He's trying not to be in anybody's way. But the problem is that, again, like we're talking about the rule of thirds. He's missing a lot of stuff because he's too close. I keep telling him, this is what I was doing all night. I was like, back up, back up, back up, back up. And the cool part about it being that he's on the headset, he listens. He hears me say back up, he backs up. I'm like, cool. Now we got this wide shot, you know, as compared to he was doing.
Lock his lens on 18 millimeter.
I wish we could do that. It's a camcorder.
Oh,
Let me. I want to throw this up just real quick.
take the zoom ring and duct tape it.
Well, the zoom, I tell him never zoom, and the reason being is that it's a camcorder with a really terrible zoom. It's an electronic zoom, but it's really terrible because it only has one speed, and that's instantaneous.
Oh yeah.
So it goes from 0 to 32 in like a half a second. And then it goes into digital zoom for the next 26% or whatever.
What was that, John?
60 times zoom.
I was showing it. That was a rule of thirds picture that they had used in Excellent. They had the bird in 1/3 of the picture and whatever it was going to land on the other third of the picture, and it was darn near perfect.
When Lewis was talking about with the news, like if you watch the news again and notice that they always center between the vertical first and second thirds, the last third, the third third, all the way on the right side of the screen, right? That's where they put in plates. That's where they'll put in, like, you know, here's the story we're talking about. Here's the cool little
Yeah, in
picture.
the studio.
Well,
It's called an over the shoulder.
like this, right here. I have to move.
Yeah,
Lewis, have you noticed?
Shoulder shot.
Yep.
Have you noticed with the new
Don't move your
social
camera, John.
distancing rules how they're trying to figure out how to shoot stuff now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I didn't come in. Did anybody talk about the Bernie Lomax thing?
No, go ahead. All yours.
This is amazing. During a Royals game, they put in cardboard cutouts of people in the stands.
Oh, yes, I
And it's-
posted that.
Yeah, okay, cool. Because it's if you look, it's like former Royals players that are, you know, that are famous or not famous, just Royals players, former Royals players, current Royals players, family members, major fans, and just kind of generic people. And then right behind home plate, every time somebody went up to bat, you'd look in the background. There's Bernie Lomax.
Do you know
For
who
Weekend
Bernie
at Bernie's.
Lomax is?
Yeah, for
Lewis?
Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's. Yes, I recognize it, even
Weekend
though
at
I've never
Bernie's.
seen it.
Bernie.
There he is.
There he is.
I love it. And you see like the Royals fans and
This
wearing the
guy-
shirts and stuff.
This place is dead than most people alive.
Uh,
Skunk, real quick before we go too far off the path, the reason I was asking is that I'm working on a request for quote for. This is going to sound dirty, but a local museum is getting a grant from the National Park Service.
Is that 6th Cavalry Museum?
John.
Talking to.
What? He was talking about it yesterday.
Yeah, you
Or
were already
Thursday.
talking about it.
That they were going to hire you to do some videos.
yeah, but I think that wasn't supposed to.
Yesterday.
It's not
Or,
supposed to go out
Thursday.
live. Yeah, but it's not supposed to go out live, is what I think.
Yes.
Lewis, why
Yeah.
he gave you the
I want
look.
it
It's,
live, okay?
we're live, pal.
Well, I think we were live when he told us, but I might be
No, I
wrong.
don't think so.
I don't think so.
All right, but yeah, you're looking for
At any rate, depending on the requirements, I might need some additional help, but I don't know if I'm going to need any help editing.
Well, I mean, what kind of? I mean, I do all sorts of things when it
Yeah.
comes to production. So anything like
Yeah.
that you need help with, I'd be more than willing to jump in.
There's only going to be a couple of them where I'm going to have to interview somebody live. A lot of it is going to be archival footage and photographs, and we can do Ken Burns effect to keep it interesting, and it's going to be voiceovered. But there's going to be one for sure where we're doing a living history, where we're going to have an actress dressed up in costume, in period costume, and delivering dialogue, delivering a monologue as a first person, telling a story of something that happened in the 1940s. John, shut up.
Right.
Because you know too much already, and I can't have you talk.
I've always known too much already.
He's the man who knew too much. I'm the man who knew too little.
But
Well,
But
if you need
anyway.
eyewitnesses from the 40s,
Ooh,
said
Not
the man
that
with
old.
gray hair.
But anyway, so I may need help as far as lighting, audio, just some additional help. I'm really hoping that we can cast an actress that can remember the lines. But if worse comes to worse, I'll have you run-
Teleprompter time, huh?
so you haven't cast your actress yet.
Yeah, we've not cast the actress yet. I don't have the gig yet.
Okay.
I'm
I do have a recommend.
The request for proposal so they can send it out to other guys who are going to compete against me for the job.
I've got an actress that would work great for you.
well, she'd
I was
have
thinking-
to look 1940s.
She can go all the way back to Victorian era.
Well, is she
Fantastic.
African American?
No.
Because I'll tell you this much: it's about the 6888.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a battalion of about 800 African American women who were the only African American women to go into Europe or anywhere overseas to serve during World War II.
Wow.
And they took about a 2-year backlog of mail that was destined to soldiers and sailors overseas and managed to get rid of that backlog in 3 months. And they are up for the Congressional Gold Medal right now.
A lot of people don't know that Fort Oglethorpe was a major women Army Corps facility
Yes,
during World War II.
Lots of
Major.
wax trained here.
I
The 6888 did, and that's big.
want to say, Lewis, is that I do know of one woman who is African American and a damn good actor who can remember her lines for sure.
All right.
Slight issue with that.
Where
Yeah.
does she live?
Well, no. She lives nearby. She lives
Oh.
nearby. Murfreesboro, if I remember correctly. But here's the problem. As far as looking from the 1940s, maybe the 2040s, because her hair is all sorts of weird colors.
If they got cornrows or braids, that's not obviously going to work.
Yeah, no, it's not that. She's got colored dreadlocks. Like she's a wrestler.
How I'm going to dance around this because the African American women that I know are very sensitive about their hair, talking about it, touching
Women
it.
are very sensitive about
I
it.
know one other girl. I know one other girl who would probably be down for it. The only problem is that, and if I know she's not watching, so I'm not worried about it. But and I love her to death and everything. It's just she's flaky. She said she was going to come out to a trivia show I was running one night, and then she never showed up. And I was like, "Where the hell were you?" And then I don't know.
If I might make a suggestion,
Yeah.
go down to Holtzclaw Avenue, talk with some of the National Guard people that work there at Holtzclaw, and see if you can find a veteran that can at least talk Army lingo.
Yeah,
And-
but I don't want a veteran, and there's not going to be a lot of Army lingo in it. We've got to make
Really?
well, it's being scripted on a
Yeah.
fifth grade level because this is the living history videos that are going to be shown in schools.
Right.
Gotcha.
So one of the things that they want me to do is go through the script and check it for accuracy, and then I'm going to give it to a non-military person, my wife, to read through the script, and she's going to see if she can understand it, because even though living with me for 12 years, she doesn't have all the military acronyms and everything memorized yet. So we're going to make it a plain language script. The thing is my train of thought just left the station.
You're trying to dumb it down for high school kids or junior high.
Well, you're junior high.
Middle
Yeah,
school.
trying to dumb it down for them. I'm also going to need an African American actress to do the voiceovers on the others. I would rather have a different voice for the others than for the person, because
That might be where we can bring in
Yeah.
my friend with the weird hair.
yeah,
But,
Her hair is cool. It's just not going to work for the 1940s.
yeah.
You know?
not about a wig.
Huh. All right. well,
I'm looking through my my Facebook right now, trying to think of.
Hey,
I'm trying to see if I have
yeah,
anybody else that I know, but I don't.
Very likely be October before we shoot anything, so we've got some time.
Hey, Lee.
Going through my Facebook is like just looking through a tub of sour cream.
I was gonna say, post that picture to Stupid O'Clock.
The 688.
Yeah,
Okay,
What the hell is this?
I got no clue.
that way, if we do find somebody who might meet your criteria, we can show them the picture, and if they go, "Cool," we'll send them your way. And if they go, well, we know. Okay, I have a challenge. I have a challenge for all of you. You remember that internet video challenge thing where everybody had to take a tablespoon of cinnamon and put it in their mouth and like eat it?
Yeah.
you mean the moron test?
Yeah, that one. This one ain't that bad. I went to Ingles the other day, and just so happens I'm out of Old Bay seasoning. Okay, walk in there. The only thing that Ingles has on the shelf that's Old Bay is what was it? Biscuit mix, I think was what it was. All of their seasonings were sold out. So, well, that's odd, but you know, it's that time of year where people are cooking out, so you kind of expect that sort of thing sometimes. So on my way home, I stopped by Food Lion.
I just had a thought.
Same problem at Food Lion. The only thing they had was the Old Bay seasoning. It was hot seasoning, not one of the hot seasoning. And they had like 6 cans of that. They didn't even have a whole box. Apparently, due to COVID, there is an Old Bay seasoning shortage in the United States.
Well, that's fine. Get Zatarans.
I don't like Zatarain's. I
Zatarans Crab Ball.
You know what?
have
I
family that
didn't
used to
think
work
about
for Old Bay. So, yes, we.
Well, then maybe you've got an insider. You know, I'm just
No, they're long since passed.
So, do you know what the ingredients are?
Yes, it's just getting it, because a lot of it's like you can't just use regular paprika. You got to use like Indian paprika and things of that nature.
I want to ask y'all something.
Oh.
You ever go through your Facebook friends list and sit there and wonder who the hell is that, and still have, after you look at their profile, you still have no idea who it is?
I got
Yeah,
a
actually-
few like that.
I had one of Dan's friends try to friend me.
Oh,
The
really?
only problem is they only have 2 pictures on their entire site, and apparently they don't know of any of Dan's other friends.
I'm trying to figure out who this chick is.
I would say that was not one of my friends.
That's one of those where they're trying to sell you porn pictures, skunk.
No,
No, I'll tell you,
no, she's not. She's whoever this is
Does
somebody
she have a
that's
background? Okay. I mean, that's like you went what high school, where she works, friends list, how many friends photograph, more than 2 photographs.
no, I hate going through my friends list. You know, when you go to weed, when you finally decide, okay, it's time to start clearing out some of the unknown,
I'm
and you scroll down and you come across somebody that's passed away.
Oh yeah.
I never unfriend anybody. So.
I've still got several of those. I have to be very careful when the Facebook tells me it's their birthday.
Yeah.
And I can't count on my memory to go, oh, well, yeah, it might be their birthday, but they're not going to be reading it. So I have to go and check. There's 2 or 3 names in there. I have to do it every year. I'm not going to unfriend them, but it does make composing a birthday greeting just a little bit more challenging. But thank goodness I'm a writer. I'm up to that.
You know, one of my other problems is going to science fiction conventions. You get a friend's request from somebody, and they're using their real name and not the name they use at the convention, and then they're all the pictures on their website are like the pictures they want their boss to know that they have.
Yeah.
And they don't post pictures from the con. So you're like, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
And then a year later, you go back to the same convention. They're like, why didn't you accept my friend's request on Facebook? That was you.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
that one I haven't run into.
yeah, me and Lewis have one that'll be coming up real soon.
What's that?
A birthday memory of somebody that's passed away.
Who?
Terry.
I didn't want to think about that.
No.
He was a good dude.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Terry, yeah, from Liberty.
No, he wouldn't. I don't know if he went to Liberty or not.
The only Terry I know went to that. He went to Liberty.
No, this is the. He was part of our NATO group from the Chattanooga Message Forum. He
And I
was-
might not know who you're talking about then if he didn't go to Liberty, because the only Terry I know went to Liberty, and I'm 90% certain he passed away.
No, he he was a good guy. Then of course we got
Chris, you're smart. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is he still alive? I feel really bad.
but yeah, that.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, no, he did indeed pass.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Thank you. And he was a good dude too. Like
I just can't remember his last name now. Dang, we bored everybody. Everybody's gone.
Cool.
I'm still here.
We're talking about dead people. I mean, Bruce Willis isn't here. What are we going to do?
Yeah. Well, I don't know why Bruce didn't show up. He said he was going to be on the show. I had to just keep it quiet until he.
Well, you know, Bruce Willis attempted to bury the hatchet with Kevin Smith recently, a couple of years ago, actually, and which is recent in our modern times. And he said he's going to get back to him, and Kevin Smith finished that story off by going, "That was 6 months ago."
Hey, I'm a firm believer in burying the hatchet, especially when you got a good shot right at their head.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Blake. Where'd you run off to?
I got a Facebook call from a friend.
Oh,
Actually, strangely enough, a cousin. Like, it's a long story. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know who this person is, and you know what? And I'm like even looking at the photos, and I can't tell in the photos if those are pictures of. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. No, it's.
what?
I know who it is now. I thought it was a woman because of all the female pictures on the profile.
Is it a robot?
No, that's not.
That's a term that I miss hearing from
It's-
Twilight Zone.
What, robots?
Robots.
it's somebody I know who is he's a good dude, but he was posting a lot of pictures of he was posting a lot of pictures of girls that are not him, and that was confusing. None of these pictures
Gotcha.
are of you. I guess they're of his girlfriend or something, which fantastic, but she should get her own fucking Facebook. Oh wait, I forgot we're on YouTube.
Yeah, you can drop it one or two times.
Adjust.
We're PG-13. No, he was just posting pictures of his. Oh my god, my friend just got engaged.
Yeah, my problem with Facebook friends is I've been friended by people that have read something I've written, and I don't know them from Adam, but they want to hang on my every word, which is kind of cool, but not exactly to somebody with my difficulty of speaking. Going to be one of those things that I'm really going to. I can't just sit there and type, going, okay, now I've got to say something profound.
Well, I just found something that just made me mad. I was going to be plugging a new web series that was coming out.
Oh, is it
But-
that one?
No, it's called Other Space.
Oh, okay.
But come to find out, it was done in 2015, but it's just now making the round.
Okay.
Long post production.
Do what?
That's a long post production.
Tell me about it.
No, it was released in 2015. It's called Other Space. You can get it on YouTube's Dust channel. I've been watching it on the Stir. It's a almost Orville style, just not as good a production quality. But yeah, it's worth checking out. It's called Other Space.
I love the Orville, but I ain't getting Hulu just for it.
No,
I got damn.
I'll let you in on a secret later.
not
Yeah,
for-
Other Space is an online text-based role-playing game created by Chris West Platt. Other Space, the novel, is the third novel in David Stoller Jr.'s True Sight trilogy. And then Other Space is the 2015 web series.
Yep, that's it.
It's also featured in Stephen King's work, The Dark Tower and The Mist.
Huh.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
But yeah,
Uh,
it's different. But yeah, I'm sort of disappointed to find out that it's that old and probably not going to have a second season.
Have you ever heard of Star Trek? It started off in the 60s.
Yeah,
Yeah, but at least
it
we
was
got-
it was on Desilu. Lucy's not going to let it go anywhere.
hey, Lucy saw the potential of Star Trek.
Yep.
Yes, that was the pun.
Lucy and Desi were visionaries.
Yes,
They invented the 3-camera live sitcom shoot.
which was brilliant because you didn't have to have the actors
Moving around all the time.
redoing the same scene.
It's what allowed a live audience, because a live audience is going to be bored absolutely to death with a single camera shoot.
Yeah.
Because everybody does their line and line and line, then they have to reset to get the other actors line and line. And this, it's more like a live play that's being captured by the cameras. It requires a lot more rehearsal time because you have to have the camera guys and the director involved intimately with the rehearsal process so that the cameras know who's got the next line and what the shot needs to be. Because the shot sheet, when I first started out on camera, shot sheet could be one sheet, and that was, A, centered on camera 1, B, look left over the shoulder, camera 2. No, shot sheets on a half-hour sitcom are like 40 pages long. It's ridiculous.
But yeah, that was. I mean, like you said, it was. You could. You didn't have to reset the scene just to get another angle.
Yep.
You shoot. You shoot 3 angles at one time.
I mean, it still takes about an hour and a half to shoot a 30-minute episode, but that's fast, really.
Mm-hmm. Considering that Next Generation was taking 12 and 15-hour days to shoot 6
Well,
minutes.
Yeah, that was a single camera, and yeah.
Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball started it off, and the first few shows they had was I Love Lucy, The Lucy Show, The Untouchables, and Star Trek. So didn't they do Time Tunnel as well?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know if Irwin Allen needed them for that.
Andy Griffith and Gomer Pyle USMC. That was Desilu Studios.
Mhm.
And then they also did a
Oh, here we go.
series
See, they
that
did.
actually gave Rod Sterling his break.
Let me see what else they did. Mission Impossible, Mannix, That Girl, and of course Star Trek. They were trying to get Carol Burnett, and they lost her to the Carol Burnett show. Let me see.
John's doing what my wife does. I'll spout out some kind of abstract, little known trivia, and she's over there Googling, make sure I'm right.
Oh no, I'm not saying it. I'm just trying to. Oh wait, here's it. Productions
Yeah,
by
she's
Desmond.
be honest, you know.
The
Can't-
Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp.
Oh, no, that's an old one.
Yeah. I would have thought that was too old for Desilu.
Well, they
Well,
don't-
they did get started in the, what was it, the early 50s?
well, no. I think I Love Lucy was 58, right? 57 or 58.
Let me see here. Yeah, I Love Lucy was 51 to 57.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Mhm.
51?
It was already old when I was born.
Wow.
And then they did the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour. And then, let me see here. The Lucy Show came out in 62 to 68.
Yeah.
Really?
What
And that
was
in
their
color the whole time. So 62 to be in color was.
what was their their anthology show that Desi did?
Westinghouse Desilu Playhouse.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
That was that Rod Sterling got his big break for Star Trek from that.
Hmm?
And you
What's
can,
Rock Sterling got to do
Say
with
that again?
I mean, Twilight.
Twilight Zone?
Yeah, his Twilight Zone.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Filmed at the Desilu Studios, The Real McCoys.
Really?
Yeah, and the Andy Griffith Show, and
And Gomer Pyle USMC.
Dick Van Dyke Show, My Three Sons,
My Mother the Car, probably.
My Favorite Martian,
Hey,
The Bing
Love that
Crosby
show.
Show,
What?
The Bing Crosby Show,
Oh, okay.
Gomer Pyle USMC, I Spy, Hogan's Heroes, Family Affair, That Girl.
I knew Family Affair would fit in with that.
That was a busy lot.
Yes, it was. I was trying to remember. I'm trying to remember who did all those old Irwin Allen. Now I'm going to look that up.
Yeah.
All those old Irwin Allen shows, because I could have sworn Time Tunnel got started with Desilu. Because I was thinking, I know Roddenberry wrote for him. If I'm not mistaken. That's why I was thinking it was at Desilu.
For Time Tunnel?
If you want to
Okay.
find out a lot of the last history shows about those Desilu and all that, check out Rick9G on YouTube. He actually goes to the filming locations.
That's cool.
And Gilligan's Island, the lagoon, is now a warehouse.
Oh,
Of course it is.
Well, actually, it's not really a warehouse. It's more a covered sound stage.
And there's a warehouse in Beirut that's now a lagoon.
Yep.
How appropriate.
Oh,
I bet it don't have an island in the middle of it.
so any word in on that? Other
Other
I'm
than they're
impressed
looking
with
at-
whoever built that grain silo.
Yeah.
That thing should have been blown over, not. It still has a couple of walls standing.
I think what got the walls was the shrapnel.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
No, I'm pretty sure a lot of that actually burned up pretty good too. All
Well,
that grain. When it first blew, one of the first picture I saw, I was like, that can't be the grain silo. And the second picture I showed, they showed the explosion from in front of the grain silo, so it looked like it was the grain silo going up.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, yeah, it can't be.
Well,
And the first thing I said was that grain silos are pretty good, but at exploding, but that was a lot bigger than a grain silo. And then finally it said, oh, it was, old ammonium nitrate.
Which didn't you say once it gets old, it breaks down and makes it even more explosive?
It can.
oh yes,
It's just one of the- it
it
gets,
can, depending on the
Gives
storage
off,
conditions, the temperature, and everything else.
it gives off nitrous
Oh.
oxide,
Yeah.
and if the ammonium nitrate absorbs the nitrous oxide, it's got an oxidizer now. So that's,
Yeah, what'd you holler at Blake?
I know you
Oh,
yelled at me
that was
something.
in Woodstack.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, I've read somewhere that someone has calculated the explosion as a little bit over 3 kilotons
no,
for a non-nuke. That's pretty good.
it's the way I figured it, it was 1.555 kilotons by the numbers. Now, somebody knows something more about it than I do.
And that's sort of what you used to do with the Army too, right?
Just a little bit.
Just run a little numbers here and there.
Just
Well, I'm somebody
Yes,
that knows
I still
what
got
they're
all
doing
those
could
cards.
probably look at the size of the hole and tell what it was.
not really, because it was a surface blast. It just basically blew out all that fill dirt inside that clay.
Yeah, because probably at one time that was ocean they made into a
Exactly.
loading pier or whatever.
So it was basically just a big fat sandbar.
Exactly. And you notice where it blew all that dirt out in the water, those two ships are basically, the back end of them buried in a sandbar. So, they're going to have fun getting those ships out of there. Because that looks like the rudder end with the propeller. And if that's buried,
Yeah, they were pointed out to sea.
apparently there's one smaller freighter that was sitting, I think it was a freighter. There was one smaller ship sitting there that actually got blown up out of the water onto the quay. Or what's left of it is on the quay. It was the
Wow.
one it was the one that was closest to the crater. The crater was closest
reading
to
a-
the crater.
Reading a story in the Washington Post, it says the rapidly expanding gases created by the detonation produced a supersonic shock wave capable of traveling at speeds of up to 2,000 meters per second.
And that breaks down to
Quicker than hell.
uh,
Well, it's
Let's put it this way.
supersonic, so it's obviously over 770 feet per second.
Right.
Well, it's faster than a speeding bullet. That's for damn sure.
Depends on the bullet. But,
What bullet travels faster than 2,000 meters per second?
let me think. You may be right about that. Meters per second.
Yeah. Not feet.
Not
Meters.
feet per second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
All the ballistics I've ever seen were figured in feet per second.
Yeah.
no, explosive shock waves and explosive propagations are measured in meters per second.
Okay, finally. I had to scroll through scanning. An analysis by Ennis, taking into account the amount of ammonium nitrate reportedly housed inside the warehouse facility, estimates the blast would be equivalent to the explosion of up to 2.4 million pounds of TNT. So, It's directly between John's and Dan's.
Odd,
Yeah.
because it was just ammonium nitrate.
Yeah.
I know what they did.
What?
Whoever figured that, the one that you just did, Lewis, whoever
Uh-huh.
figured that was
It's
using
NF
ANFO, not AN. They were using ANFO, ammonium nitrate and fuel oil. That's what they use in cratering charges.
Uh,
It's about twice as powerful as AN.
yep. And that's compression detonated, isn't it?
Supposed to be. Like, give you an example, the ANFO that the military uses, they put a block of C4 next to it just to make sure it goes off. It's 40, comes in a big 40-pound can, and you strap a block of C4 to the side of it just to make sure it detonates good. It's almost, AN is almost a low explosive, like gunpowder.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain velocity it has to achieve in propagation before it becomes high explosives.
Wow. It says those nearest to the blast are likely to have been killed by a combination of blast and thermal radiation.
Well, yeah, it's going to get warm.
Busted up and cooked. Wow.
And likely shredded at the same time.
Or
Yeah.
tossed.
Yeah, that's the busted up part.
Depending on the terrain, they either got tossed and shredded, or they got hit by something and shredded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They either got hit by the projectiles or they were the projectile.
There's no two ways around it. You did not want to be anywhere in Beirut that day.
No.
Wow.
And still don't.
Wow.
Yeah, they're still
That's going to
finding
be
people.
that's
They're
going to
still
be
finding people in the
one
water.
terrible place to be for a long time to come.
Yeah.
I mean, the grain silo had like 85%
Of
their reserve for the country.
It's their biggest port. Makes sense.
Well, yeah, but why do you put all your eggs in one basket?
That's where the basket is.
Skunk's giving me a look. We might have to get the horse and chicken.
Oh, I've got nothing to add to this conversation. All I can think right now is that we're all going to end up on an FBI watch list.
Oh, son, I've
Welcome
been
to
on
the
an
club.
FBI watch list since high school.
Yeah, I haven't been able to fly in an airplane for like 10 years now. It's fine.
Neither
Yeah.
have I.
Whoever wore dresses. Oh well, you know.
Lake's the only smart one going in silhouette.
Oh.
All I want to say right now on this
Yeah.
live stream is that I will plead the Fifth Amendment right now to anything that I will be questioned about at a future
I don't think you can
time.
plead the fifth on video.
But he'll sing like a soprano canary on any of us, though.
Nah,
Mm-mm.
no.
Hell no, Lewis. Snitches get
He'll
stitches.
pull a run, buddy, run.
Oh.
All right. I'm gonna. Well, I don't know.
A lot of when I worked asset protection for Best Buy, a lot of people were like, "Oh man, you're working for the man." I'm like, I just don't want people to steal stuff from the electronics store. You would not, if you had put me in charge of making sure shoplifting doesn't happen at like the grocery store, I'd be the worst person.
Yeah, me
because
too.
I'd be like, you know what, just let them have it. It's food, you
Yeah,
know.
You want me
but
to read?
probably needs that loaf of bread.
But
want me to
if
read-
somebody's gonna shoplift if somebody's gonna steal like Beats headphones, you don't need those Beats headphones. That's not a necessity.
No.
You're just a
Okay, I'm gonna put you in a moral dilemma here. What if they're shoplifting beer?
Follow them home and share it with them.
Follow them home so you don't share. You get.
well, okay, but I want to point out something, right? If they're shoplifting beer, damn, like that's very difficult.
Not really. Just grab a couple cases and run out. I mean, happens all the time.
But
Not
beer is
where
very
I
heavy.
shop.
Beer is heavy. Okay, right.
So is an ATM machine.
when I had a buddy of mine who used to work at a grocery store, and he told me about the people that they would catch stealing. Let me rephrase. Not really a grocery store; it was a Walmart, but whatever. But whenever they would catch people stealing out of the grocery section, it was literally the same 4 items every single time they would catch people stealing. Right? And it's crazy to me that it was the same 4 items. And it was literally it. They never caught anybody stealing anything else. Right? It was meat, bread.
And a lot of people steal steaks.
Yeah, it was meat, bread, water, and the weirdest one of all that just blew my mind, eggs.
Yep, that's what I would have said.
Was
Meat?
it snowing?
French toast.
No, it's yeah. They wouldn't steal milk.
It's Don Welch's fault.
They would steal water. They would steal water, but not milk.
Well, the previous week they had stolen the dry powdered milk.
No. You know what I
So
saw the other day at Ingles that somebody had stolen? They went and opened up an entire box of 5-hour energy drinks and left the box hiding in the back of one of the cabinets.
No, I mean, other stuff did get stolen on occasion. I mean, they would talk about when I worked at a gas station. I'll tell you the 2 things that got stolen the most, for sure. I remember when both of the gas stations I worked at, it was the same 2 items. If anything was missing from the inventory, we knew exactly what it was. One was beer. But I never heard of that happening at the Walmart. If beer went missing, it was rare. But at the gas station, that was one of your 2 main sources of theft. Yeah. And then the other one, which is so dumb, and you could tell the ages of people who were stealing stuff at the gas station, right?
Pokemon card.
If they're over 21, they're stealing beer. Or if they're near 21, they're stealing beer. The other stuff that would get stolen, candy. Little kids would steal candy like crazy.
Pokemon cards.
Well, we didn't sell Pokemon cards at either of the gas stations I worked at. But
really?
we had a 10-year-old kid. When I worked at Weigel's, we had a 10-year-old kid who came in who tried to steal a pack of Skittles. Also, at the same exact time, when I was working at Weigel's, we had a guy come in who attempted to pocket the Bud Light with Clamato. And then when we said, hey, man, you can't, you have to pay for that, he was just sitting there just being like, oh, I brought these in. No,
Yes, you brought them in.
We literally watched you. B, why would you bring Clamato beers into the gas station? Like, into the gas station.
Really?
This isn't a bar. You're not here to meet people.
Well,
evidently he's going to meet 2 charming gentlemen in a blue suit later.
Well, it used to be, they would steal gas, but now that you got the prepay, that put the end to that.
I work for the retail agent of a known shipper, and
you put a retail agent in a wood chipper.
Yeah, I wish I could. Some of them, but the most stolen things are the stupid electronic things that are the worst quality thing that you've ever seen in your entire life.
That's because all the good stuff is locked up.
Oh no, they'll twist it off of the pegs. Like they'll break the seals and stuff and just walk off with these like $30 like knockoff Beats that are the most horrible thing in the world. Think they got away with it. It's like, well, you got away with some horrible quality. Congratulations. We'll just put it on shrink. And lamination. Like these kids, I don't know if your towns have these swindlers or not, but all these kids get together and they're like, oh, we're going to celebrate middle school and high school sports. And, we take Venmo and PayPal now and like trying to hustle for money. And they'll run and get a whole bunch of papers laminated and run out the door. So anytime we see children unattended, we're like, we're going to call the police on you. Find your parents.
Well, and I remember talking to one particular person who worked in loss prevention at Walmart. She worked at the Gun Barrel location. And I don't know if she still works there or not, but at the time period when I talked to her, she had a mullet that would put mine to shame. It was amazing. This chick was awesome. She was showing me she had a big scar on her arm, like right through here. It was huge. I mean, this thing is bubbled up. I mean, it looked like she had a leech permanently attached to her. And she was showing it to me. She was like, "You see this? This? Yeah." The Mexican guy tried to run out of the Walmart with a television. He apparently just grabbed a 55-inch television and just bolted for the door, right? Well, she went to stop him. He dropped the TV and was so mad he pulled a knife out and stabbed her. And she removed the knife and was just all like, "You're still going to jail."
Damn.
Bad to the bone.
She was badass.
You're going to jail for this.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
I don't care what Walmart says. When they stab me, the ass kicking begins.
Yeah.
Oh, this dude stabbed her and she just pulled the knife out and he was just like, "I give up."
I bet. Got
you know,
one
Show up.
over there.
Hey, where's the guy that had the knife? I stuffed him in the Kramer claw over there in the corner.
Well, now
You're
you
going to put about 50 quarters in there to get him out.
I was at Walmart the other day. A 65-inch 4K Vizio under $500.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
$3.
They're
Here's
one of the things
here's
about
the
COVID.
thing-
One of the things about COVID, they're dropping prices because nobody's out buying stuff.
Here's the thing that I want to point out real quick, though. Right? A 65-inch 4K from Vizio, which I mean, Vizio isn't exactly a top-of-the-line company, but
It's okay.
a 4K 65-inch television from Vizio should still be a lot more money, right? But you don't understand. When I was working at Best Buy, which was at this point over a year ago, they already had 8K TVs on the shelves. They would display an 8K if anybody transmitted in 8K. They already had 16K prototypes.
Oh,
So I mean, we're getting up there. I mean, eventually we're gonna have 32K and 64K. It's just gonna keep getting bigger.
What's the point of TV like that? I really don't want to see everybody's pimples and warts.
No, I mean, it's already uncomfortable.
I can actually explain this. Right? It's not about that. You remember your old TV when you used to watch it, you would see the pixels if you got really close, right?
Yeah.
And you would notice. You'd be like, "Oh man," right? If you're getting a bigger and bigger TV, right? Let's say that you had a 100-inch 720p television.
That's me. Sorry.
Back to the future.
Let's say that you had a
Ooh,
let's say you had a 100-inch television that was 720p. With a 100-inch television that was 720p, you'd be able to see the individual pixels. The reason why you want to have a television with such high resolution is because you have a bigger and bigger TV. 4K TV, if you buy a 4K TV that's only like 20 inches or whatever, you literally, I don't even think they can make that. B, you're literally wasting the point of having a 4K TV and having all that 4K video. So that your bigger picture looks better. So it's all about bigger is better. When I talk about that they have 8K TVs, you can't get an 8K TV that's any smaller than 65 inches. It just ain't going to happen.
Right.
I
That makes
remember-
sense. That makes sense having a bigger TV with higher
Mhm.
K.
I
But-
remember looking at the TV, the old tube TVs, and you could see the pixel. But if you got close enough to look at it, it was three little lines.
Yeah.
Red,
Red, blue, and green.
yeah.
Red green.
Yeah,
And if you
three
if you
primary
went,
color,
if you went to
primary
clean the
colors.
screen with
Of light.
window cleaner,
You
you
need to all
sprayed
the
the window
colors.
cleaner on the screen, you could see all of them.
That's
And
my favorite.
but here's the fun thing about all of that, though, right? Is that a lot of people, if you try to look at it really close, your eyes will automatically adjust and try to recognize a pattern. And if you look at it really close, it looks like they're all in a line, just red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, blue, green.
Yeah.
It's not, because of the way that the cathode ray tube works. It's actually at an angle. Yep.
Well, what I miss about the old cathode ray TVs, when you turn them off, you can put your arm up there and the hair.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite thing was
I miss that.
if you had a really super old CRT, like I used to have a little 13-inch with rabbit ears. That was awesome. I loved it. It was the only TV in my household that could pick up 61, so I was the only one that got to watch Fox. Even our gigantic Sony Trinitron TV couldn't pick up Fox, but I could with my little rabbit ears, and they had the big antenna on the roof. Right? So amazing.
Don't get me
When you
started.
turned it off, the cathode ray tube would reset back to its like 0xy position, right? But there would still be enough power going through it. It would leave a little dot.
That
Yeah.
short
See the
dot
little dot.
screen.
Yep.
And it would just
I will
And
tell
then
you
eventually
what
it'd go away.
my little brother did to the first color TV that my mom and dad ever had.
Please tell me it's like a magnet.
He had a little magnet about 2 inches in diameter, stuck it on the screen, and it stuck there. Next time mom and dad turned the TV on, there was a rainbow around that spot.
he degossed it.
Mm-hmm.
My
I'll tell
dad
you-
went down to the local electronics shop, rented a ring magnet, and demagnetized the entire screen, and it went away. But it
He
was like a
degassed it,
month later that happened. We had to live with a rainbow star in the middle of lower left hand corner of the screen for a month.
So my dad went and he took an old television. It was an old television, very similar to the one that I used to have, but I believe this one was like 10 or 12 inches. And he took it and he rewired this thing. I didn't know what the hell he was doing. He was like, "Oh, I'll show you something really cool." And he rewires the television and he passes a magnet over the screen so it gets all cool and rainbowy looking and stuff like that. But he'd already done the modifications to the back, so I don't know what the hell he was doing. And he plugs it into the stereo. He's like, "I'm going to show you how to make a color organ." What he'd done was he had rewired where the cathode ray tube, how it works, to the X position and the Y position were set up to left channel and right channel. He plugged the stereo in, played a CD, and you would see it like it was a visualizer. It basically just it was almost the same exact thing as an oscilloscope. And he'd done the thing with the magnet over it so that whenever the oscilloscope was moving, whenever the light from the cathode ray tube was moving around, the control for it, it would be all sorts of different colors and all rainbowy and stuff. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun to mess around with. And the thing about it was that I love my father, but that's not what a color organ is. Color organs when you do that with like a neon light bulb. He built basically a poor man's oscilloscope, but it was still super cool.
I need a neon transformer.
I mean,
What, the Green Ranger's not good enough anymore?
No, I need a neon transformer.
My mom, her second husband.
That was funny.
Her second husband was Fred Vickery. His family used to own Vickery Signs down in East Ridge. We had 20,000 volt neon Christmas ornaments in the window. You just don't know what it's like to try to go to sleep at night with in your window.
I was speaking of things that were 20,000 volts. On the way home tonight, I had somebody behind me who didn't have his bright lights on, but you wouldn't have been able to tell because he's illegally using LED headlights, and I was very upset. And so I went to he was behind me. He was basically bright lighting me, even though he didn't have his bright lights on. I was getting really pissy about it. So, and then he followed me into a gas station, and I almost said something to him. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. And we got back on the road. He was in front of me. And I was going to bright light him to be a jerk because I was so pissy about it. But he had a trailer. So I wouldn't have been able to do anything. You wouldn't have seen it. Some people.
I'm vanishing for a bit. Be right back.
No, one of the reasons I want the Neon Transformers, I want to build another Jacob's Ladder.
Hmm.
We had a friend who every time I would turn it on, he instead of breaking out the lighter, he'd put his cigarette in and catch the light his cigarette off of that. I'm going, dude.
That's the cigarette lighter.
That sounds like something I would do.
Yeah,
I remember a children's TV show. It was based on oh crap! Now I've forgotten their name. I've got Laurel and Hardy. But it wasn't Laurel and Hardy. It was somebody recreating their characters. And one of the props in the background was a Jacob's Ladder. And one of the other characters just went and stuck a sheet of paper in there and set the entire set on fire in the TV studio.
Oh yeah, there's fun, but yeah, he would come over and go, "Hey, plug that in so I can light my cigarette," and he would, and you could see the hair on his head starting to stand out with that thing firing all the electrons around him. Lewis, you look very intent.
For those of you who don't know what a Jacob's Ladder is.
Lewis, you muted your mic. I can't hear you. You muted your mic.
Okay, I had to try 3 times. No, I've been listening to every word. I actually helped build a Jacob's Ladder one time out of a Neon Transformer and some old wire coat hangers.
Yeah.
And we used it on set for what we were doing in high school.
Well, my favorite Jacob's Ladder.
Oh,
My favorite
I'm
Jacob's
just-
Ladder is. Go ahead, Lewis.
He gave you the go ahead.
Oh, well, I was gonna say my favorite Jacob's Ladder was the film.
Oh. And what were you saying, Lewis?
He's- I mean,
No, I
That's
said
not
I'm just
me.
doing some research on the side,
It's not me.
but I had to mute it because I was printing out a long document.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate that because the last thing I wanted to hear was.
Yeah. 18 pages.
We're talking about somebody was talking about that the other day. They were making a joke. We were talking about computers, and they were like, "You had to print a document out on the world's loudest printer." That's all you hear in the background from the dot matrix.
All right. I'm going to start my research on after show, so everybody get ready for some beans in just a second.
It was a private chat.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you, John.
Oh, Blake was posting how to rewire to us, like it matters to us. But he's posting how to rewire your TV into an oscilloscope.
Yeah, well,
I already know how to do it.
I missed my Jacob's Ladder. I moved and wasn't there to pack stuff, and I got a feeling my wife threw it away.
Joe, she probably didn't know what it was. She probably like, why the hell do we need rabbit ears?
No, it's Joe. She probably knew what it was,
Yeah, she knew what it was.
and that's why it got tossed out.
What you need to do, Joe, is you need to build one
You
of
have
those.
cats. You can't have a Jacob's Ladder.
Joe, you need to build one of those,
Yeah.
but you need to build the kind that uses the bell jar, like the old Frankenstein props.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where you're going to get the argon, but
A gas store.
Go
They
down to
just
the
sell argon?
welding shop.
Welding
Yeah,
shop.
welding
Yeah.
supply place.
Go down to the welding shop. Yeah,
oh god, that's right. Yeah, they do.
you can get it in a big old tank. Just don't knock it over.
They'll sell you 55
Like
gallons
that,
for
every
55
time-
pounds of it.
Every time I think about the gases that are used in welding, I always think of acetylene, not argon. But I forgot you could use that for welding. We're an acetylene household, damn it. It's
He sells argon and argon accessories.
I was about to say propane and propane accessories.
Beat me to it.
I was watching clips from King of the Hill earlier too.
Oh, have you seen the one for SpaceX? He
Which
sells methane and methane accessories.
Mm-mm. No, but I will say something.
okay.
And we had a conversation earlier at the wrestling show. I had a buddy of mine who why am I saying a buddy of mine? Y'all know Joe. Anyway, Joe and I were talking about the music he wanted to use for his ring entrance when he finally actually becomes a wrestler. He's still working on it. Like he's really busting his ass. He's lost a lot of weight, by the way. If y'all hadn't seen Joe Blair in a while, he's lost a lot of weight.
he's awful old to start taking bumps.
He's only a couple years older than me. He takes bumps just fine. His big thing is that he needs to get rid of that gut. That gut is holding him back. Oh, and his knee, because he has that football injury.
Yeah, well, he's awful old to be taking bumps. I'm just
He's fine. Don't worry about it, man. There's a lot of guys. There's guys in the industry who are superstars now who started when they were 40. So, but I will say this about Joe Blair, right? We were talking about the music.
yeah.
And I pointed out to him the fact that one of the songs that he wanted to use is actually the song of somebody else. And I was like, you can't use that because somebody else in this local area uses that song. He was like, who? And I was like, Matt Gilbert. Like, Matt Gilbert uses that song. He was like, yeah, I don't want to step on anybody's toes or anything like that. And one of the other guys piped up and was like, yeah, Matt Gilbert, though, is in jail. And I was like, do you really want to piss off somebody who's in jail for meth? Like, that's the last guy you want to make mad. When he gets out of jail, he's going to kill you. No, Joe's all right though. You know what Joe's doing now, by the way?
What?
Joe Dog?
What?
He's one of those personal shoppers for Walmart. Yeah, we're gonna get. Actually, I'm moving in with Joe. We're gonna get an apartment together. You know how I've been looking for an apartment, or
Yes.
looking for a roommate. Well, I hate not getting EPB. Right, I hate not getting EPB, but Joe's the only dude I know that's looking for an apartment or looking for a roommate as well. Like, he's the only person I've talked to who's also looking for a roommate. And he works at the Walmart in Cleveland, and Joe doesn't drive yet. Right? And the problem is that Joe's mama, who, you know, rest her soul, love her, she passed away a few years. Right?
Yeah. I hate it.
She was a good woman and everything else, but because of her illness and everything, she couldn't teach him how to drive. She barely drove. And, you know, Bill, he ain't got time. Yeah, Bill works like 12-hour days. I ain't got time to teach him how to drive. I told him, I said, look, man, we're going to get an apartment together. I'm going to teach you how to drive. I'm going to teach you how to drive because I can do it. I know I can do it. I'm going to teach him the same way my mama taught me. And they yell and scream at him the entire time. What the fuck are you doing? No, but anyway.
Walmart and their poultry. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it the way my mom and dad did. I'm gonna throw them in the water, and you better learn how to swim. Because if you wreck my truck, I'm gonna kick your ass.
We have a Honda Civic station wagon, the 74 Honda Civic station wagon, that had a permanent handprint in the roof where my mom smacked the ceiling. House.
I only did that to my mom one time, and it was on purpose. So
Hey, now, I've had people try to teach my wife to drive. Had one guy who was a sanctioned ARCA professional race car driver. Took my wife, took our Jeep. They were gone 10 minutes. He came back in. He came back in driving. They pulled out. She was driving. He came back in. He was driving.
mm-hmm.
I said, how'd it go? He held up one finger, walked straight to the fridge, opened the door, popped one beer, popped two beers, and started drinking both of them at the same time.
Now, I don't mean to interrupt your story here, Joseph.
The when he came down, he looked me dead in the eyes, and said, "Let that bitch walk."
Now, I like I said, I don't want to have your story, but I want to ask you this.
Yeah,
Right? What kind of beers were they?
buds.
Okay, he ain't taking it seriously. Anybody can drink 2 buds at once. Drink 2 of these at once.
No, oh,
Hey, that's
Now here's the other
That's a
thing I'm gonna
good
say too.
suggestion. I'll be back.
Here's the other thing I'm gonna say too, Joe. Here's the other thing I'm gonna say to you, right? Okay, you know I love Donna. You
Yeah.
know I love Donna. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I don't know who this guy is, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna put a professional race car driver in a car with Donna. You're gonna expect that there be fucking problems. Put her in a car being taught by somebody who drives for a living, somebody who's a professional driver, like a courier or a truck driver. I don't know.
well, the reason it was
I've drove professionally for several years. I could teach your wife how to drive. My dad taught me how to drive. He's a truck driver. That's why I've never been. Oh, I've been in one accident that was my fault. If you don't count all the weather-related ones where I was driving too fast. But in my defense, those all were related to fog.
Well, reason Budweiser is Carter Distributing gave some sponsorship.
Well,
Um,
by the
but
way,
yeah.
somebody, Daniel, you were wondering what about this? Me drinking Yingling tonight. Do you want to know why?
No, I thought you'd bought the good stuff, so
Do you want to know why I'm drinking Yingling tonight?
it was on sale.
Yes, it actually was. $7 for a 6-pack.
Of Tall Boys.
That's cheaper than natural. That's cheaper than Natty. Cheaper than PBR. Cheaper than Budweiser. Apparently, nobody's drinking Yingling in Red Bank because that's where I bought it.
Apparently.
It was the cheapest stuff I could buy.
oh, so there's a wrestling show tonight?
That's why I was late. I had to slap together a video for after the show because the show ended with one of our wrestlers cutting a promo on another wrestler who wasn't at the show tonight. And he said, "You're going to see this in a little bit." And everybody was like, "You're going to have to edit that video like as soon as you get home." I was like, yes, sir, I will. Because I earned my $30 tonight. I said to my buddy Graham, he was one of the wrestlers at the show. I said to my buddy Graham, I was like, I do 9 people's jobs. I get paid for 1. I do everything. Oh, I'm the timekeeper. I ring the bell. I'm the video editor. I direct the cameraman. I also play the videos and I do the audio. And I wear a lot.
Joe,
I wear a lot of hats at TWE.
so Joe, do you have another cameraman there besides Joe? Or
No, he's our only one now. Our only one now. Our previous cameraman is now a wrestler.
Oh, okay.
And our previous camera woman, we have no one to replace her. And she's the one that took all the promo photos and stuff. We don't have anybody for that anymore. So
So how did the phone talk in his ear? Did that really help? Or
yes, I believe so. Because I noticed that whenever I would tell him to do something, there was only 2 times during the night when I would tell him to do something and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
And both of those times, he couldn't hear me. He could not hear me.
too much noise?
Way too much noise. It must have been.
Bang, bang.
It was just people were cheering during the second one. People were cheering. The first one, there was a song playing. I was yelling into that microphone on my headset, and he just did not respond until finally I was screaming at him. And at which point, I'm pretty sure he heard me not through the headset, but because my actual voice. I'm 90% certain that picked up on camera too. I'm 90% certain that picked up on camera. I was like, look at the ramp.
Well, maybe you need the maybe Lewis could help us with this. What it's called? It's like the curly Q that goes in the ear.
IFB.
No.
No.
Here's the problem with that.
Yeah.
Those are designed for radios. We were using cell phones. We do not have radios because those are expensive. We're using our cell phones. If you try to plug one of those into a cell phone, right? You try to plug one of those into a cell phone, you get it doesn't work right. It's really weird. You get this weird feedback with it. It just no good.
I wasn't thinking cell phone skunk. Remember, we
No,
got
use little FRS radios with in the ear transducers.
Well, maybe I'll buy my own FRS radios and it'll just be for me and whoever is running the camera. But
Yeah, there you go.
I'm still just saying FRS radios, like as a whole. I mean, we're only talking about like spending like I don't need to spend that kind of money right now.
No, FRS radios, you can get a pair of them for $30.
skunk.
These things are $40 at Kroger, but you don't get the whole package.
Joe Dog's
Go-
grabbing the FRS radios that we
Go
were
to their
supposed to use,
website. You can
at
get the whole
Alcon.
thing for $35,
and we didn't use
and
them
it
at
comes with
Alcon.
rechargeable batteries and chargers.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, I'm very shocked that FRS radio prices have gone down because I remember when we bought the FRS radios we used to use at the Volkswagen shows, not the Volkswagen Club, but the ones my family would use at the Volkswagen shows. Were like, I think it was $100 for the set,
No, they're real cheap right now.
and it was like a set of 2, and they were really super nice. Look, we might do FRS radios in the future at the wrestling show. But here's the other thing too, though, because me and Jaden have talked about it. And I'm continuing my training and stuff. And eventually, someday, I'm not going to be the person running sound. We have somebody else for that. If we could ever get him to show up, we're trying.
Skunk, I've got everything you need. Just holler at me.
Okay, Joe. Like I said you're gonna before you even got off of the. You already had your headphones off. I said he's going to go get the Halcon radios that we were supposed to use and never did.
Yeah. We didn't need them. Place is too small.
What I was going to say was instead of it's not going to be too much longer before I'm in the ring. So. And Joe, I mean, honestly, here's the thing about Joe. Like, and Dog, Joe Dog, you're gonna, you need to understand something about Blair, right? His bumps, he doesn't mind taking bumps. He's fine with that. His bumps need work. Just about everything he does needs work. A lot of his technical stuff needs work. But let me tell you something. As far as chain wrestling goes, right? Blair's one of the best. Not even making that up. If Joe, when he was a kid, when he was a teenager, instead of going into football, if he went into mat wrestling, he would have excelled at that. Instead, he went into football, which was stupid. Because well, the thing
It's
about
what he wanted to do at the time.
I understand why he went into football because he was a big kid even back then. You know, he was somebody who you know. I mean, if you think about it, if you look at Blair, if you look at Joe Blair, he looks like a customer you don't want to mess with, right? And he's always looked that way. I remember the first time I met him when we first thought he was walking up. We thought it was Street. We thought it was Dust Bunny, and then we realized he wasn't. And then we started calling him Street Bunny because he just walked up off the street. But even back then, like he was a big dude. Like he was tall, you know.
Like Matt Curvin.
The only reason back then that he was skinny, literally was he was malnourished. You know, his family wasn't doing so hot at the time period. They weren't getting a whole lot to eat. They were doing so much better over the past few years. Like, you know, he was. I want to say that, like, now that his family, you know, for the past several years has been doing better. Like, I heard Skype or something. Somebody had a phone call.
My daughter keeps PMing me, and I think she tried to do
A call.
a Facebook message call, and I'm like,
But,
I just got a weather alert on mine.
He's been eating really good, right?
I've noticed he's been eating real good.
And that was the thing about it is that you gotta understand. It's like Chris Rock said, fat people don't fail at cooking, right? And let me tell you something, Joe Blair knows how to cook. Joe and Bill both will cook you a hell of it. Bill's a little bit better, obviously, but both of them know how to cook. And the thing about it is that they eat so well, like that's why he's getting, that's why he's gotten so chubby as he has been. And I keep trying to tell him, I'm like, portion size, brother.
How is Bill doing?
Bill's doing fantastic, including and especially because at our last TWE show, which was 2 weeks ago, Bill took a shot.
Got hit or
He got nailed
Did they run a shoot on him?
by accident.
Oh, he just got in the way.
No. It was part of what was happening, but it was a Bill isn't trained. So Bill doesn't know how to prepare for he doesn't know how to read body language and all that other stuff. Like, I've gotten pretty good at reading body language now, and even I'm not perfect at it because I've only been doing it for a few years. But Bill didn't know that Bill was about to get hit in a certain place at a certain point, and that's exactly what happened.
Mm.
So you hear Bill was singing soprano for a couple of weeks. That's all I'm gonna say. Bill also got hit with.
Pardon me while I cross my legs.
Bill also got hit with a pretty stiff forearm that night, but it looked really, really super cool on camera. Like, so he's okay with it. We were talking about it when we were watching it back tonight. Actually, during the pre-show, we were showing the show from the 2 weeks before, and he was sitting there watching it, and he was just all like, he was telling this little girl's like his girlfriend's like granddaughter or daughter or something. I don't know what she is, but there's a little girl that was hanging. He was like, watch. He was like, old man Bill's about to get it right in the jewels. Pointing it out on the screen right before he got hit in the nuts. I was cracking up.
Doesn't that look cool?
And well, right when it happens, the guy who was actually in the match goes like, that didn't hurt that bad. I took a worse hit. I was like, getting thrown into a wall at a wrestling show versus getting punched, getting punted, like straight stomped in the crotch. I was like, yeah, Carson, you got the worst of it. People in the audience were pointing out the fact that Carson was watching his own match. Of course he was. Come on, wouldn't you?
No.
Come on. If you had gone 5 minutes with somebody, you'd watch your own match if it was on TV. Hell yeah, you would.
Was he aware this was going to happen, or
he knew about he knew there was going to be something happening with him. He didn't know what it was going to be. He thought it was just going to be a shove. He didn't know he was going to get forearmed and then kicked in the, and then he also got kicked in the butt too. Like, he was trying to crawl away and they kicked him in the butt. It was hilarious. But no, he sold everything like a champ. He was really good. Bill's all right, man.
you can't say you can't fake that you got hit in the nuts.
well,
He didn't, dude. He was howling. He was howling like a kicked puppy.
back in the 90s, I was shooting Mox basketball live on TV. As a matter of fact, JR was announcing. I think it was JR, and I think it was Kevin Billingsley.
Oh, okay.
So, I knew both the guys in the booth pretty well. And when I got wiped out, they were having a little fun at my expense on the air.
Mm.
I just shared the clip that my friends at Channel 12 put together because they had the raw footage from the truck. So I just posted that on the Stupid O'Clock page. I think Skunk might get a kick out of it.
Okay, I got a feeling. Hold on. It doesn't look like it'll be. Well, it's on your thing, so you're not going to copyright claim me, are you?
No, it's only 55 seconds. So.
All right, and there's no music playing in the background.
No.
Just some Pink Floyd.
Feel like we're preparing for warp drive.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
So
Oh, here we go. I was watching it actually.
okay.
Boom.
Look how young.
Combat duty. Combat duty there. Combat duty for a photographer, Lewis Lee over there. I think he's shake it off, Lewis. Shake it off. Good stuff. He can play with pain.
You were more worried about the camera than you were about yourself.
Always. The camera's 50 grand, man.
I like the little flip you did with the headphones when you you spun the headphones around like it was a handgun or something.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That
was slick.
Boom.
Man, the little cheerleader thought I was going to hit her or something. It's like,
Well, Lewis.
Well, I wouldn't
Are
blame.
you okay?
I wouldn't blame you if you had.
Lewis, I do have to say at least one thing about your form. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. You don't go elbows down on a bump. Okay. You wanna make sure you flat back and then palms to the sides. Don't
I
elbow.
took martial arts.
That's how you get
I
bone
took
spurs.
martial arts. But martial arts, you're not carrying a $50,000 kimbo.
He can play with pain.
So-
Long pass. Really young player.
I mean, that was literally the first thing I saw was you went like that.
All as well as I did.
And elbows.
My head still
You know-
hurts when I watch that.
Out of bounds. And
Hey, Skunk,
You gotta.
hey, Skunk,
I'm
you
not
need to
gonna count,
you need to
man.
redo this for him and add the Batman sound effects with the dual. Biff.
No, the
ow,
thing I
whack,
was
boom.
the thing I was thinking about
Owie.
editing this. The thing I was thinking about editing with this was the back and to the left. the Oliver Stone JFK Zapruder film, back and to the left. I did that. I did actually. Oh God, did I put that on YouTube? No, I didn't. I did not put that on YouTube. I sent it to some people. I don't even know if I still have a copy of it or not.
All right, Lewis. Why did you dump the beard?
Because my current wife prefers me clean.
That will do nicely. Yes.
He looked like G.I. Joe, didn't he?
I was thinking
With a kung fu grip, no
from,
less.
Home Improvement.
Oh,
I'm wondering now.
Yeah, Klein's character. What's his name? Kevin? No. What was that?
Al Borland.
Huh?
Al Borland. What's his
Al
name?
Borland.
Yeah,
Al Borland was played by Michael Karn.
Michael Karn. Yeah.
Michael Karn. Okay. Yeah. Well, I can grow a right respectable beard, but yeah. And there are sometimes I just let it go. I haven't shaved in 2 days, so.
Yeah, I just looked through my YouTube and then I looked through my program.
You got the cutest little baby.
Now,
I went through my YouTube and then I also not only did I go through my YouTube, but I went through my old footage and I don't have it anymore. But I did have a practice match with Jaden where He went to do an elbow drop and hit me right in the back of the head, and I would happen to be looking down at the mat at the time because it was starting to get up, and so it just drove my face into the mat, and I was so out of it afterwards that I didn't even kick out for the pin. That's where the match ended because I was just that like at that point because my literally like I just got smacked in the back of the head, smashed into the. So what I did was I took the footage of that practice match and I edited it, did the back and did the left, and I did that several times.
If we Skunk, I need you to help me to remember this because y'all were talking about Lewis's beard, and I got to thinking about it the other day. I was watching a YouTube video. A guy was trying to break the world's record of how many toothpicks in a beard.
What?
Say that again.
That's a new one. That's
Toothpicks in a beard?
In a beard?
Toothpicks in your beard. We need to get Jesse because Jesse's got the good beard. We got to get at least 4,000 toothpicks in his beard. And we can set a record.
how quickly?
You damn sure ain't getting me.
There isn't no time limit. It's just how many can you hold?
Oh, that seems easy. Just have to have a big beard. I mean,
Yeah. But we could get Jesse as a world record holder. Do it at Helicon.
there's no time. I was about to say if there's a time limit, I'll build a gun for it.
No.
No. Then that would be unnecessary roughness.
It would be a posthumous Guinness Book of World Record.
Hey, Lewis, you remember that girl I was talking about? That
actress?
I know.
Yeah.
The actress? Well, she's not an actress. She's a wrestler, but she's really good. She can memorize lines and stuff. She just went live on Facebook, and I can tell you what her current hair color is right now is purple.
Purple.
I don't think that's gonna work.
I don't think that's going to go into the 40s very well. No.
Actually, if you
Well,
film
we
it
should-
in black and white, no one will know.
If you film it in black and white, it's gonna
Yeah.
make it look like she has white hair.
Oh,
Also, would not work for the 40s.
oh,
Yeah, no. And when I say purple, I don't mean like Crown Royal purple. What I mean is purple like
My Little Pony purple.
My Little Pony. Thank you, My Little Pony
Wow.
purple.
John, we don't know about you.
He's a furry. I knew it would translate. It's kind of like Smurf blue, you know.
I have a box over here somewhere labeled furry stuff. A different word
shit.
that's for this, but yeah, that one. Well,
Like-
I'm trying to be
Like Lewis has got a box labeled radio stuff. Come on. Joe's got a box labeled Halloween stuff, and Dan's got a box full of writing stuff, and
No,
I've got-
mine's labeled
I've got a
ammo
bunch of
stuff.
military ammo cans. They're not necessarily labeled.
Well, I've got one that's duct taped up that's got like 2,000 rounds of 7.63 for an SKS.
7.62.
6.2. Yeah. Oh. Well, I used to have
my
a
39. Yeah.
I used to have a Mauser, so I get the decimal points mixed up.
You too?
M1943 Combach.
I had a Mauser, and it was never since I owned it. It might have been fired previously, but when I owned it, it was never fired. We never even had any ammunition for it. You know what I used it for? I
Movie
used it
prop.
drill team practice.
Mm. Mine got stolen in a burglary.
I could spin that rifle like nobody's business. By the time that
This was a broom handle. This was a pistol.
Oh, you're talking about the pistol. I was talking about the rifle.
Oh, then it was 7.63. My bad.
No,
So
no,
my-
no.
765.
The ammo I've got is for a rifle. It will fit my SKS. It is
That's 762 by 39.
62 by 39. Yes.
Yeah.
Broom handle Mauser takes 765 by 20.
7.63 by 2.5.
Yes, that's it. 763 by 25.
My now my father has an SKS. And I remember one day, because what I think I love about the SKS was one day he came home, and previously
Every comrade
he
should have
had
an
right?
SKS.
He just had a small. It was a small hunting magazine that he had for it previously when he first got it, right?
Yeah.
Then
They come with a 10-round built-in mag.
Yeah.
I mean, he showed up one day, and he was like, "I got something new for the SKS," and then he pulled out a banana clip. I mean, it was like this big. It held like 25 rounds.
30.
30.
Now, 30? Yeah, that's what he loved that thing. And that was the first year, since he got the banana magazine, it was the first year that he came home and he had actually got a buck. We ate good.
That makes a decent hunting rifle around here.
When
Yes, it does.
When I first moved here in '91, you could go to Rose's and get an SKS for $99.
I paid $89.
Get them for
for mine.
$59 at a gun show.
Those were some supremely accurate rifles, man. I mean, scary accurate. With
Especially
iron,
to get one of the longer barrel ones.
Oh,
They've got several different barrel lengths on them.
my dad bought 3, one each week until the store ran out of cases to open, and they raised the price $10 a week. So the first one was like $85, like I got mine for, and the second one $95, $105 for the last one he bought. He was going to get one all dressed up in a plastic stock and everything, one of the fiber force stocks.
yeah.
I don't know if he ever got around to that or anything, but they came with 2 different kinds of bayonets.
I want to point
a
out.
knife bayonet and a spike bayonet.
I want to point. I'm sorry, Dan. I want to point out 2 things really quickly. One, right? The thing I was going to say about my Mauser was when I sold it, it had about 4 or 5 inches of dirt inside the barrel from where I dropped it during drill. But also the second thing, we only got like a minute and a half left, and
Yep.
Joe Dog's wanting us to bring it to a close so we can end the stream. So Dan, make
Wait
the
a minute.
story
Hey,
very,
Louis,
very
what
quick.
is that hand signal for wind it up that they use on TV? Is that okay?
Yeah, but Joe Dog was doing this.
Well, this
Timeout.
But make it quick, Dan, so we can.
No, I'm through. I'm through.
All right.
30 seconds, and then you're out of time.
See ya.
So yeah, 60 seconds left. What do you want to say?
Who, me?
Anybody? I don't care.
Well, let's just wrap this up. We'll see everybody over on the after show, but
Not everybody.
Hey, you have a good night.
Tired.
I'm going to say 3 things real quick while we're still live with the with the main show. One, TWE Chattanooga, come see us in 2 weeks on the 22nd. It's going to be an amazing show. It's going to be so good. Please come and see this. It is going to be the show before our big anniversary show. Second thing, of course, message me if you want information on Scrub House. We're going to have a great time. We didn't watch it last night because we were at Athens Drive-In. And by the way, we're going to be in Athens Drive-In in a couple of weeks. And then the third thing I want to say is that I'm going to be on another show tomorrow. It's not going to be live, but I will let everybody know when it goes up.
How did the movie go last night?
It went fantastic.
all right, we'll
We
talk about it
barely
later. We got to go.
we barely watched it.
Bye.
Now we got to touch the face of God.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.